Hello everybody! Welcome to another episode of Reacting Reddit. Today we're going to be talking to you about the Justin Timberlake situation, which is a current trend that's going on because of a documentary that came out. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to read something from Variety.com. In the wake of accusations of sexism and misogyny against Justin Timberlake regarding his treatment of former girlfriend Britney Spears and the wardrobe malfunction with Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl in 2004, he has apologized to both women in an Instagram post. "I've seen the messages, tags, comments, and concerns, and I want to respond," he wrote. "I'm deeply sorry for the times in my life where my actions contributed to the problem, where I spoke out of turn, or did not speak up for what was right. I understand that I fell short in these moments and in many others and benefited from a system that condones misogyny and racism. I specifically want to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson, both individually, because I care for and respect these women and I know I have failed." Now we're gonna get a snippet from ET Online. During a sit-down interview with Diane Sawyer from 2003, for example, Britney Spears was asked, "Justin has gone on television and pretty much said you broke his heart. You did something that caused him so much pain, so much suffering. What did you do?" Meanwhile, in a New York radio interview, Timberlake was asked if he and Spears had ever slept together, to which he jokingly replied, "Okay, yeah, I did it." After watching the documentary, many viewers took to social media to express their disappointment and disgust in Timberlake. Many argued that he was to blame for the media's negative portrayal of Spears after the split, while others brought up how he exhibited similar toxic behavior towards Janet Jackson after the infamous wardrobe malfunction that occurred during their Super Bowl halftime performance in 2004. So now let's read some context on Wikipedia of Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson and Britney Spears, so you guys know who we're talking about. Justin Randall Timberlake is an American singer, songwriter, actor, and record producer. Born and raised in Tennessee, he appeared on the television show Star Search and the all-new Mickey Mouse Club as a child. In the late 1990s, Timberlake rose to prominence as one of the two lead vocalists and youngest member of NSYNC, which eventually became one of the best-selling boy bands of all time. Timberlake won 2 Grammy Awards for his R&B-focused debut solo album Justified in 2002 and its single Cry Me a River. Another single from the album, Rock Your Body, was also successful. Now let's look at Britney Spears' summary. Britney Spears, born December 2nd, 1981, is an American singer, songwriter, dancer, and actress. She is credited with influencing the revival of teen pop during the late 1990s and early 2000s, for which she is referred to as the Princess of Pop. After appearing in stage productions and television series, Spears signed with Jive Records in 1997 at age 15. Her first 2 studio albums, Certified Diamond in the US, Baby One More Time in 1999, and Oops, I Did It Again in 2000. Were global successes and became 2 of the best-selling albums of all time, along with making her the best-selling teenage artist of all time. The former's title track was named the greatest debut single of all time by Rolling Stones in 2020, and the latter held a 15-year record for fastest-selling album by a female artist in the United States, with first-week sales of over 1.3 million copies. Now for Janet Jackson! And then you guys get all the context, and then we start looking to what people online say on Reddit and stuff. Janet Demita Jo Jackson, born May 16th, 1966, is an American singer, songwriter, actress, dancer, and record producer. A prominent figure in popular culture, she is noted for her sonically innovative, socially conscious, and sexually provocative records and elaborate stage shows. The 10th and youngest child of the Jackson family, she began her career when the variety television series The Jacksons in 1976, and went on to appear in other television shows throughout the 1970s and the early 1980s, including Good Times, Different Strokes, and Fame. After signing a recording contract with A&M Records in 1982, she became a pop icon following the release of her third and fourth studio albums, Control in 1986 and Rhythm Nation 1814 in 1989. Her collaborations with record producers Jimmy Jan and Terry Lewis incorporated elements of rhythm and blues, funk, disco, rap, and industrial beats, which led to crossover success in popular music. Nice! Now we're going to read some Twitter comment responses from some famous people. So whoever Ashes of Roses is some accredited user, which means a lot of people like them. They said, now I'm in need to see some reparations paid to Janet Jackson from Justin Timberlake for all the lost wages he caused when she was blackballed by the industry for 20 years. Especially after he had the nerve to put out Man of the Woods. David Opie Rainbow said, I'm not going to forgive Justin Timberlake anytime soon, especially since he's only apologizing because of all the pressure that's being put on him because of the documentary. I would have... Oh god, I deleted the whole comment. Okay. I would have respected him a lot more if he had come forward of his own accord. Carolina says, Justin Timberlake grew up. Fans of Britney and Janet did not. Stop writing this shit and insulting him. We love you, Justin. People are so polarizing. All right, now let's look at some comments and replies to this on Reddit. Let's just go at it. European here. You are not only prudish, referring to the United States as a whole. Your whole society is also completely over-sexualized. A really strange combination. Taking a step back and reevaluating sexuality would probably be a good idea. The opposite of being an evangelical prude is not Tinder. And yes, people use it here, but look where it is from and got this big. Sitcom jokes 80% revolving around sex and the largest porn industry in the world, it's part of the same coin. Obligatory, not all Americans, and I didn't say we don't have issues or are superior, this is just my outside view. It just has some upsides and downsides, as everything in life. Yeah, that's the edit they add after a bunch of people got mad at them. Gravy Bone says, you just perfectly described puritanicism. I didn't pronounce that right. Publicly pretending you don't have sexual urges does not make them go away. It just makes them manifest in secret, which leads to a whole variety of weird and messed up stuff. The Devil's Fair says, when I was a teenager, my religious grandma told me she didn't lose her virginity until she was 24 years old, as some sort of way to imply that I should wait too. Now that I'm an adult, I know that my grandma was married at 19 and had my aunt at age 20. So that's America in a nutshell. It's alright if I do it, but not you. I'm going to shame you as a way to deflect. So now either you don't talk about these subjects or you go completely overboard the other direction. I'd like to add that shame is a huge seller to a capitalist nation like America. It's why televangelists exist. It's why a majority of commercials make you question, what if my teeth aren't white enough? What if my deodorant isn't working? What if the car I drive isn't good enough? What if my dick isn't hard enough? Great comment. You are explaining my childhood and early adulthood. An insane mix of control, shame, and curiosity. This is why we hear so many stories about sexually repressed religions, people going to extremes because they can't find a simple, normal, healthy outlet for their feelings. Can I Be Real says, this is one of the most insightful comments I've seen on Reddit. There is such a compulsion for control of sexual activity and thought that it leaves many people hyper-focused on sex. My mom wouldn't even explain female anatomy to me, and my brothers, other than to say girls potty by sitting down, I kid you not, that is all she would say about women, because she has this weird mixture of guilt and shame and wanted to raise us to be good little Christians who were abstinent until marriage. This is not how you get teenage boys to think less about girls. Window Seat adds, it literally starts as infants, with sexualizing every goddamn interaction between a boy baby and a girl baby as future boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, no Karen, they are just future friends. Stop making these kids grow up thinking like they have feelings for every member of the opposite sex that is in their age bracket. Oh man, these are too on point. It's too real. Too real. All right. And it's the hypocritical prudishness, as the US is the most likely country with the highest porn consumption in the world. I'm not sure which European country you said, okay, what? I'm not sure which European country would do what you said on a mainstream channel. Okay, that's responding to something else. Sorry. All right, well, I'm just going to rant about this now. So you can see how the Reddit people are going pretty deep. Well, okay, actually, no, just a tiny section of the tens of thousands of comments that I showed you. I read like 5 comments. But let's act like all of Reddit is really understanding, right? And you can really see, wow, like, society's unfair. It really is. And like, there's a lot of unfairness going on. There's unfairness for Britney Spears. There's unfairness for Janet Jackson. There's even unfairness for Justin Timberlake. I mean, I don't know anything about Justin Timberlake, but I know it's totally possible that this happened 15 years ago. And, things change in 15 years. It's not normally nice to be given shit for something that happened 15 years ago if you actually did take that to heart and change or try to and feel guilty about it, right? I'm not saying he did that, though. Who knows? He could be a total raging lunatic asshole still to this day and is just commenting because this documentary came out that's talking about this whole situation. There have been a lot of documentaries about people involved in the Jackson family. I wonder how many documentaries total have been done about at least one member of the Jackson 5. That's pretty crazy. And this same kind of thing happened earlier where Michael Jackson's ghost was getting a lot of shit, unfortunately. Well, okay, I don't say that. I'm not trying to defend him at all. It's very complicated, right? What's interesting about the Michael Jackson situation is how it shows you how much hatred is still a part of our society, right? And we can't. You basically, if you ever say anything positive about pedophilia or anything like that, you are attacked. It's okay to hate you. And pedophilia is wrong. But hating anybody for any reason is also wrong. And our society has all of these huge hypocrisies where people do drastic things to get the approval of others, when the reality is, no matter who you are, you're always going to be judged. A lot of us are living our lives thinking, oh, I'm doing this so I can someday get to the point where people don't judge me anymore because I have everything they want. Right? But really, that never happens. Even if you get rich, you get judged for being rich. If you have lots of free time, you get judged for being lazy and having free time. If you work all the time, you get judged for working. If you're not religious, you get judged for being atheistic or agnostic. If you're religious, you get judged for being religious. And it's so dumb that so many of us just blindly pursue these societal meme-ish ideas when in reality they aren't good for us at all. And that's something that's so great about the internet and memes. Like, you'll get like serious people on BBC and all these news broadcasting places, CNBC. I mean, what all the B's and A's and C's put together in a bunch of different combinations, and it's the same shit, right? They summarize news in a way that's influenced to talk about the more toxic, intense, scary things that people actually listen to, right? These voices, they paint a picture that's just not real, and it's constant. We're constantly around this, and you really are probably better off just ignoring most of the things that you're told about the way that the world works and taking them with a grain of salt, thinking, people say it's that way, but that doesn't mean it actually is. And a lot of what society thinks and the way we act is very, very hypocritical. So, yeah, it's sad because, yeah, people are apologizing. This guy's apologizing now. This is a thing now. There's a documentary The documentary is going to create a bunch of hype, and then maybe something will happen about this. But think about like how much can be done by people creating content in these things instead of what they're currently doing, which is just kind of complaining anonymously. You know, it's sad. People don't really want to change their lives. They'd rather complain about the person who fucked them over, even if that person isn't real, right? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. That's it for now. I will see you next time. Ciao.